Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. In the last two episodes, we built something that actually worked. I didn't really explain it much. I just wrote a few lines, deployed, and data appeared on the dashboard. And honestly, that's usually how people start with template node. In this episode, I want to slow down and explain what we've already typed and add something new to it. We are going to talk about what div is, why we keep stacking divs inside each other, what is a class, and how all of these fits inside dashboard version 2 template node. So let's start here. The template node in dashboard version 2 is basically saying whatever HTML that you put in, I'll render it. That's it. Node-RED doesn't care if it is messy HTML or clean HTML. The browser will render it. The only Node-RED specific thing is this part. That's how data flow gets injected into HTML. So think of it like this. Node-RED handles logic and data, and HTML handles the structure and display. The template node just sits in the middle. Now let's talk about div. The div is just a container. That's all it is. It doesn't mean a box, it doesn't mean a panel, it doesn't mean a row or column. It just groups things together. So if I wrote something like div hello and div again, I just told the browser these things belong together, nothing more. So why do we have many divs? This is where people usually get confused. You almost never use just one div. You use divs inside divs. For instance, I can type div, and inside the div I can type another div, and I can define it as a title, and I can close it. And similar to that one, let me copy and paste it, it's just easier. I type value. So if I click done and deploy, now if I go to my page 1, I can see that the outer div is the whole widget and the inner divs are parts of it. That's it. No styling yet, no layout magic. Now let's look at what we had before. In episode 2, we had something like this. Although we could have written it as such. But let me explain it further. We've got one big div wrapping, and inside that we have smaller divs. The template node just renders it exactly as written. Now let's talk about class. A class is just a label. It doesn't change anything by itself. For instance, I can type here class equal quotation and title. Right now, it behaves exactly the same as normal div. Class lets us target elements, style them, keep things organized, and avoid guessing which div is which. Think of class like name tags. Now let's rewrite the same HTML. So instead of this title, I can say, for instance, widget, and I can give the second div a new class and call it a title. For the third one, I can classify it as row, and I'll apply the same one for these two. Now, if I click done and deploy, we can observe it visually, and it looks almost identical, but structurally, it is much better. Now, when you come back to this in a week, you can instantly see what the widget is, what the title is, and what the rows are. This matters a lot once dashboard gets bigger. Most template node problems are not data problems. They are structure problems. Things get messy when everything is in one div, there is no grouping, there is no classes, and styling is added too early. If your structure is clean, styling is easy later. Conditional logic is easier, debugging is easier, and your dashboard doesn't turn to spaghetti. So in this episode, we covered what's the template node really renders, what div is, why we nest divs, what a class is, and why adding a structure early is a good habit. In the next episode, we will start using these classes properly. Basic spacing, simple layout, making the UI clearer without overcomplicating it. Thanks for watching this video.